Hi, my name is Ashleigh Strohman, and I lead the Restored Pastoral Care and Counseling Ministry for the Family of Churches. I wanted to take just a few minutes to tell you a little bit about my background and what brought me to create this ministry, and also just about what lies ahead and an opportunity you have to partner with us in the future of this ministry. So I entered graduate school in my early 20s, and I wanted to pursue a career that was about helping people. But like a lot of other budding therapists, I also really wanted to grow in my understanding of myself, and was interested in psychology to help me make sense of some of my own struggles in my life. In my teens, I experienced pretty significant trauma and just carried a lot of guilt and shame and sadness over choices I had made and experiences I had. And I went into the field hoping that I would find answers and that I would really understand myself more and be able to help other people grow and heal as well. One of the ways that I tried to sort of deal with the shame and the guilt that I experienced was to achieve, whether it was academically or professionally or other areas of life. I threw myself into a really busy schedule and just wanted to sort of achieve my way out of feeling ashamed or feeling guilty. And I was really left still feeling empty. On the outside, my life looked pretty great in my 20s. I was newly married. I was excelling in my graduate program, but I was still caught up in that cycle of just pride when I was doing really well and feeling really low and really down and experiencing all those feelings again of shame and guilt when I wouldn't reach a goal or wasn't doing well. If you've tried to build your identity on achievement, you realize it does swing that way. There's a lot of highs and there are a lot of lows when we build our identity on anything other than Jesus. So I started attending Restored Uptown, and I encountered Jesus in a way that changed me. For the first time, I experienced just forgiveness that dealt with a lot of the guilt I carried, and I experienced a new identity that dealt with the shame that I felt, and I experienced purpose and meaning in my life that just went far beyond anything I could achieve or do. For the first time, I was experiencing a kind of peace that I had always longed for, and that many of the people that I was working with as a therapist in training were also describing that they were longing for. So as the gospel began to take root deeper and deeper in my own heart, and I began to experience more healing and more transformation through my relationship with Jesus, I was really at a crossroads in my career, and I wanted to learn about what it would look like to integrate both my faith and my relationship with Jesus and the clinical training and skills that I had learned in graduate school. My pastor at the time, Andy Rogers, started exposing me to just various frameworks for Christian counseling, and I got to attend biblical counseling trainings and learn from biblical counseling material, and I got connected to a spiritual director who mentored me in a very gospel-centered way. So as I started learning about all of these different frameworks and ways of approaching Christian counseling, I realized that there was still a great need for counseling that was truly Jesus-centered, but also clinically informed and affordable. I started to see that there were a lot of self-identified Christian therapists who had excellent clinical skills and training, but when I asked them how their faith impacted their work or how they helped their clients who identified as Christian to see how their relationship with Jesus impacted their problems, they really didn't have a lot of answers for me. And on the flip side, I also began to see how there were a lot of really sound Christian counselors who had a lot of biblical knowledge and wisdom and even helped people connect with Jesus. But when faced with a problem that maybe required a little bit more clinical training or awareness, they at best would refer out, and at worst case scenario might not provide adequate interventions. Over the past 5 years, I've been able to provide care for members of the Restored family of churches that's Jesus-centered, clinically informed, and affordable. And we've done that through individual counseling, through couples counseling, through providing trainings for leadership, through supporting missionaries, and through connecting members to pastoral care. And we want to be able to do more of that. We hope to be able to expand the team and serve more members of the Restored family of churches. It is one thing to be met with kindness and acceptance and different ways of thinking when you're at your lowest or you're in crisis, but it's another to be pointed towards the living God who embodies kindness, whose perspective offers hope, and whose acceptance changes everything.